That's the question, and that's what we're about to get into. How bad is the cartel? Is it worth fighting another war over? That's how superpowers collapse, is fighting too many wars that they cannot fund, especially when they have a spending problem, if you know what I mean. We're going to do a video on the spending problem that's getting reined in later. But right now, I want to cover what's going on with the cartels. How bad is it? Is it worth fighting a war over? And some things that have happened around here locally. I mean, 30 miles from here.
Yep. With illegals.
With illegals. And what's going on, it looks like they are really ramping up deportations. We're going to talk a lot about that. Before we get going, please hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. If you're wondering what that number's for, Stacey is a broker for Miles Franklin. She sells precious metals. We do our best to bring them the best price possible. Get the price list. Shop around. Okay? All right. So, first thing, touch on the zero hedge. Just narrate it real quick because I've got a ton of stuff to add about the cartel.
Sure. So, Pete Hegseth, that's how you say it, I believe correctly. He announced Friday, which today obviously is Saturday, and he said that all options are on the table regarding military strikes on cartels. And he's come out and said that we're dealing with this and we're designated to be, because Trump came out and did an executive order and he made the cartels and other organizations, they're considered terrorist organizations. So therefore, we're allowed to target them. He could conduct special operations against Mexican cartels now that President Trump has declared them foreign terrorist organizations. And it's on the zero hedge. You guys can read it if you want, but that's pretty much what it comes out and says. We're going to finally secure our border. We've been securing other people's border for a long time. The military is shifting toward an understanding of homeland defense on our borders, and that's what they said they're going to be working toward. And even Tom Hallman, I think that's how you say his last name, he said that President Trump said we were going to wipe them out. Now, what does this mean and how bad are the cartels? You and I were talking about this.
I know I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong. Sinaloa, Cartels. That's, my notes are scrambled. The cartel that has been running amok, not just, this isn't the only one, this is just a big one, has 100,000 people strong, estimated to be 100,000. The Mexican government has tried to deal with this, I'm sure a few times, but one of the last times they sent their military, their army, to deal with the cartel. The cartel said, okay, all right, you're messing with us, we're coming after you and your family. It was close to 30 people that died. It was a bad deal for the Mexican government. I'll leave it at that. The Mexican president said, hey, all of this bloodshed is not worth the problem. It's not worth, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Just let them, I'm stepping away. 100,000 strong is a military. That's an army. Do we need to send our forces? Do we need to fight another war? I would say on our border, 100%. That's my opinion. I was going to do my best to keep it out of here. But it seems like if there's a war that needs to be fought right here, why would you fight one over there?
Well, so, sorry, I just scared you were going to hit my mic, so I moved. Pop me. But when you're messing with someone's family, sometimes your opinions change. And so I think that's probably where some of that came in. But they have, if you guys have watched any kind of documentaries, any kind of news, anything you've done, you've seen all the tunnels that they have dug, all the stuff where they come across the United States, where they've trafficked people, sex trafficking, human trafficking, not in kids, women. It's horrific. Drugs. I want to read this to you also. So Trump came out and another day, in the last couple of days, which, by the way, in the 9 days that he's been in office, 10 days now, he has done so much, my head spins. I try to keep up with it daily. But he says, quote, today I have implemented a 25% tariff on imports from Mexico and Canada and on 10% on China. We'll get into that more later, but I want to specifically do the Mexican one. This was done through the Emergency Economic Powers Act because of the major threat of illegal aliens and deadly drugs killing our citizens, including fentanyl. We need to protect our Americans, and it is my duty. And he said, to ensure the safety of all, I have made a promise on my campaign to stop the flood of illegal aliens and drugs from pouring across the borders. because people voted overwhelmingly for that. So I think that's where some of this is coming in, and that is a issue that is becoming front and center. I think, let me show you right here, and this actually came out just a few minutes ago, they said that ICE has arrested 7,400 illegal aliens in the last 9 days. Granted, from what I understand, that they have gone after the most violent offenders first. However, I think some people have probably got caught up in it that weren't violent offenders. They were just here illegally, and we know this personally because it's happening here, like 30 minutes from where we live. You want to tell what you were told about the roadblock?
Okay, so that was going to be towards the end.
Sorry.
I didn't forget about it, but you're right. It doesn't matter when it is. This is happening locally. Like, this is boots on the ground from somebody I trust it's 30 miles from here, okay? They're setting up roadblocks. I'm not sure why. Well, I'm not sure for what reason. Okay?
It's in the morning too. It's not in the evening, like for
I'm
sobriety
assuming
test.
It's in the morning.
It has to be. They're driving to work.
Maybe it's the night shift. I don't know.
Okay.
But I don't have a for sure answer on when it is, but there's roadblocks that seems to be in the morning. People are going to work. It's a high traffic area, a really city part of the town. Industrial, a little bit away. So a lot of people go through there. I can't imagine setting up a roadblock there. What's happening is it's not only the roadblock, it's speeding tickets and other reasons they pull you over, just regular traffic stop. Now, it would be go pay your fine and don't drive again.
Right.
I know, okay? That's how it was. Things seem to be different. It's going to change some lives.
It is. And my heart breaks for it because we had a subscriber reach out to us, and there's a woman that works for a vet, has been here 30 years, and she's getting deported. So I'm on the fence on this. I really am. I know someone personally. I would never want to see them deported. They've been here for 20 plus years, paid taxes.
How many of the cartel members came over? How many cartel members walked across the border when Biden rolled out the red carpet?
That I'm against.
All right, wait.
Okay.
I am too. Where do you draw the line when the government's made the wrong decision for so long? Because the cartel supposedly has military-grade weapons, 100,000 strong. In my research, I found a military guy talking about how ex-military are being hired to train the cartels.
Oh, didn't know that.
This is getting gnarly. This could be, I'm going to research more into that. And if you've got some information on that, please put it in the comments. So we've got like a Mexican Al-Qaeda, like a ISIS, Mexican ISIS type thing.
It is, and it's a problem. It's definitely
human trafficking,
yes,
drugs,
yes,
and everything else. They're shooting at our border patrol agents. It's completely out of hand. I would like to talk more about it, all the things we have going on, but we might be out of time. We're trying to make these videos a little bit shorter and a little bit more precise. Do you have something else you want to add?
No, and by the way, I'm glad that he signed, before we go, the Lake and Riley Act. I'm really glad President did sign that, because I know some people pushed back in it. I guess a lot of the Democrats actually didn't vote for it, but I'm glad he did, because this is a system that is, I don't know if you can even say sure it's broken. I'm not sure it's actually ever been fixed. I'm not sure if there's something that was ever actually implemented that could address what we're facing today. But it definitely does, and I hope with all my heart and prayers that our current administration does something and steps up. And just so you know, I'm not opposed to people coming to our country, but I just think it should be legal. And there's a lot of people that should be here legally, and they have to go through such hoops and years to get their papers to be legal when that should not be the case. And when you have people that are here illegally getting credit cards and food stamps and hotels, and that's where I have a problem. And they have criminal histories, and they're just allowed to just release. They will actually commit a crime, and then they're just released back into the street. That's where I have a problem. And that's where I think our system is broke. It's a disadvantage to the good ones who try to do right. They work every day. They should be able to apply and get
Pay
citizenship.
taxes.
Yes. And they didn't get the
Never been in
stimulus checks.
trouble. No stimulus checks, no welfare,
Nope.
nothing. The illegal immigrants I've known didn't get any of that.
Nope.
And they're pissed off at the people that are getting all of it.
That are coming over now.
The new ones, the new migrants, and I can't paint them all with a brush. I understand that. One of them might be better than everybody on
Well, I'm
the
sure
planet.
there's some good ones. They want a better life.
Right. But I would say as a whole, the new entitlement class just
Yep.
walked across the border.
They did.
That sums it up as far as what I've seen. I hate to give my opinion. I'm trying to stay out of that. Now, the next video about immigration, we're going to talk a little bit about China's influence on how fentanyl and other chemicals flow in from Mexico to this country and kind of go down that rabbit hole some. But this is a big deal. It is a war. It's right at our border. I'm not sure what the heck we were doing in Ukraine.
I don't know when we got a war right on our border.
Sure seems like we should have been doing this all along. We were 100% set up, in my opinion, by the previous weak people that were running the country. Guys, have an awesome, awesome day. We'll see you in the next one. Later.